and a senator from Washington, Senator Patty Murray.
Thank you so much, and thank you to each and every one of you for traveling from all across the country to represent the millions of students whose voices must be heard when it comes to your education, your tuition dollars, and the future of the higher education system in this entire country. I want to say a special thanks to the students who are below me and standing behind me today who've traveled 2,500 miles all the way across the country from my home state of Washington to represent the students who are struggling there. Great to see you all. They know it's time to for the federal government to give them a break. You know, I'm not sure if you planned this rally, you had any idea that it was going to be such an important time here in Washington, D.C., but you certainly have come at the right time to make change. This week, in the Senate, we will not only be putting the finishing touches on the historic health care bill, we're also going to be standing up for you, America's college students. This week, while you're here, we're going to be fighting to pass a bill that puts students before lenders, that puts families who are struggling to afford college before special interests. We're going to pass a bill that ensures that Pell Grants are not only rescued from a record shortfall, but are increased to meet the growing financial needs of students in my home state and across the country. This is so important because Pell Grants truly represent the only chance for so many of our students. Students who've done everything right, who've worked to get good grades and get into school, and whose only barrier to education is money. I have received letters and testimonials from so many students across Washington State telling me how important this bill is to them. But one of them that I just got just really struck a chord with me. It was from a young woman whose name was Adriana, who told me that, like many students, she receives Pell Grants, and she would not know where to turn without them. She told me that her mom is very sick, and her family's only income is disability insurance. She said that her parents and family couldn't contribute anything to her education. Now, this was a story that really struck me because not only it showed the importance of expanding Pell Grants today, but it also reminded me of my own story. When I was in high school many years ago, my dad was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and all of a sudden he couldn't work any longer. For several months, my family had to rely on food stamps. My mom had to go back to school through government aid and get a job to support my dad and their 7 kids. And I remember so much thinking at this time, oh my gosh, here I am in high school going on, how am I ever going to be able to afford college? If our parents can't pay, where is this money going to come from? Well, thankfully, for me and for my family, this country was at our back. We had Pell Grants and student financial aid to help us through. And because of that, all 7 kids in my family were able to get a college education. Because our country was at our back and made that investment in us, those 7 kids became a school teacher, a lawyer, a firefighter, a homemaker, a computer programmer, a sports writer, and a United States Senator. Pretty good investment. So I believe with all my heart that we now have to make that same kind of investment in the next generation, that we have to make it in all of you. And that's why I've worked so hard to get this bill to a vote this week. And I know it's why you're here today, to see that it passes and becomes law. So I want you all to let your voices be heard when you visit your members today. Don't hold back. Don't let them tell you that now's not the time. Don't let them tell you your education can wait. And don't let them tell you we're already doing enough. Instead, you tell them your story. You tell them how financial aid and Pell Grants are the only reason you or a roommate or a family member earned a shot at a college degree. You tell them how you truly cannot afford for the Senate not to act. You tell them every student deserves a chance. And tell them it's time for you to vote for a change the way we provide tuition assistance. You tell them it's time to put students before big banks, to put families before special interests, and to put the future of our country and above all else for you. So now's the time to go out, talk to your members, be loud, do not be afraid. Now's the time to stand up for you and your friends and your families. Let's get this bill passed with your help and your voices. We're going to do it. Thank you.